And obviously the news just came out about Dorit and PK. Have you spoken to her? Have you been there for her at all, just to like uplift her?
I haven't spoken with her. I sent her a text, and that's all you can do is reach out, and she's ready. I know it's a very difficult time. It's always sad to see a family broken up, always.
Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star Dorit Kemsley has filed for divorce from husband PK. According to court documents obtained by E! News, Dorit issued the filing April 25th after 10 years of marriage and cites irreconcilable differences as the reason.
He called himself Beverly Hills' top businessman. Dorit called him her soulmate. Together, they flaunted the jets, the diamonds, the designer labels, and they swore their marriage was unshakable. But behind the glam facade was betrayal, drinking, lawsuits, and one of the messiest divorces Housewives fans have ever seen. This is the downfall of Paul PK Kemsley, the man who went from Dorit's king to the worst cheater in Real Housewives history.
The filing comes just one day after PK was spotted on a PDA-packed date with Shanna Wall, a former Amazing Race competitor.
Before he became Bravo's most infamous husband, Paul PK Kemsley was already a familiar face in the world of money, gambling, and big risks. Born in London, PK sold himself as a slick businessman, dabbling in real estate, sports management, and high-stakes ventures. He loved the spotlight, chasing celebrity friendships like David and Victoria Beckham, and even managing Boy George's career. On paper, he was living large. Mansions, private jets, designer suits, and the image of a man who had made it big. But behind closed doors, PK's empire wasn't built on stability. It was built on debt, shady deals, and risky plays that would later come crashing down. Enter Dorit Kemsley, a Connecticut girl trying to make it as a designer. When she met PK, he swept her off her feet with luxury, glam, and promises of forever. Within a year, they were married, moving into a Beverly Hills mansion, and branding themselves as Bravo's new power couple. PK played the role of the supportive husband, while Dorit reinvented herself as a Beverly Hills Barbie. Plastic surgery, couture fashion, and an over-the-top lifestyle that screamed new money. Together, they joined the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills in Season 7, flaunting their wealth and showing off their jet-set life. But just like Dorit's fake accents, the marriage was more performance than reality. From the very beginning, fans whispered about PK's wandering eye, his drinking, and his shady finances. Even Lisa Vanderpump once hinted on camera that PK had a gambling problem, and the tabloids were already sniffing around about his lawsuits and unpaid debts. Still, the couple kept pushing their perfect marriage narrative. Dorit called PK her rock, her best friend, the man who supported her every step of the way. And PK, he branded himself as the smart businessman, the loving husband, the guy who'd always protect his family. But Housewives fans know one thing: the bigger the show, the darker the secrets. PK wasn't just Dorit's husband, he was the man who would eventually drag her into financial scandals, cheating rumors, and one of the ugliest breakups in Housewives history. The rise was quick, but the fall? That was going to be brutal. By 2019, the shiny PK and Dorit power couple routine was starting to wear thin. On screen, Dorit flaunted couture head to toe, bragged about her glam squads, and lived like Beverly Hills royalty. But off-screen, the whispers about PK's behavior were growing louder. It started with the drinking. At Bravo events and cast trips, fans noticed PK was rarely seen without a drink in his hand. Dorit herself admitted on camera that her husband's alcohol use was a problem, once calling him a full-blown alcoholic during a reunion taping. It wasn't played for laughs. It was raw, uncomfortable, and exposed just how unstable things were at home. Then came the rumors. Bravo watchers began speculating that PK wasn't exactly faithful. He was spotted out without Dorit, photographed at parties, and linked to women in gossip columns. While nothing was proven, the buzz was constant, and for a couple that sold themselves as unshakable, every headline chipped away at their image. To make matters worse, PK kept inserting himself into Housewives drama, making snide comments about Erika Jayne's legal issues, and stirring the pot when Dorit feuded with Kyle Richards. The hypocrisy didn't go unnoticed. Viewers started calling PK out, saying he should focus on his own crumbling marriage instead of trashing the other women. But the biggest scandal of all, the Mauricio affair rumors. When tabloids began whispering that Dorit was a little too close to Kyle Richards' husband, Mauricio Umansky, PK stayed quiet, a silence that fans found suspicious. Some thought he didn't defend Dorit because he was too busy covering up his own secrets. Others believed the couple had some sort of unspoken agreement to ignore each other's bad behavior. Online, Bravo fans were ruthless. Memes painted PK as the weakest house husband, the drunk uncle of Beverly Hills who couldn't keep his story straight. And every time Dorit tried to defend him, it only made her look more desperate. The cracks in the facade were showing, and fast. Dorit's fashion labels couldn't hide the fact that her husband was slipping deeper into scandal. From cheating whispers to alcohol-fueled fights, the once perfect couple was turning into a Bravo circus act. And soon, the circus would blow up into a full-blown tabloid scandal that neither Dorit nor PK could deny. By 2022, the perfect PK and Dorit act was hanging on by a thread. The fashion shows, the Beverly Hills mansions, the Bravo confessionals, none of it could hide the fact that things at home were falling apart. And the tabloids were eating it up. It started with the paparazzi photos. PK was spotted in Los Angeles, drunk outside clubs, looking nothing like the polished businessman he claimed to be. He was also photographed cozying up to other women, most infamously to actress Shauna Wall. The images hit the internet like a bombshell. PK insisted it was innocent, just a friendly kiss, but fans weren't buying it. Social media lit up with accusations. PK was cheating, Dorit was humiliated, and their marriage was a sham. Dorit tried to spin it. On The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, she stood by her man, insisting the rumors were exaggerated and that PK was still her soulmate. But the footage told a different story. On camera, Dorit looked tense, defensive, and increasingly fragile. Fans noticed how quickly she snapped at questions about PK, how she avoided discussing their marriage in detail, and how her once flamboyant confidence was fading. Then came the reports of trial separations. Multiple outlets claimed Dorit and PK were quietly living apart, that they were trying to work through issues privately, and that divorce was on the table. Their reps denied it, but the rumors wouldn't die. Every public appearance was dissected. Were they holding hands? Did they arrive together? Was Dorit wearing her wedding ring? Even their co-stars couldn't ignore it. Kyle Richards once hinted in a confessional that Dorit seemed distracted, more guarded than usual. Erika Jayne, herself drowning in scandal, threw shade at Dorit, calling her marriage complicated. For Bravo fans, it felt like the beginning of the end. But the cruelest cut came from the audience itself. Viewers who once laughed at Dorit's accents and over-the-top glam now saw her as delusional, a woman clinging to a toxic man who embarrassed her repeatedly. PK wasn't just a husband anymore, he was a liability, dragging her name deeper into the mud with every headline. By late 2023, the whispers had turned into shouts. Dorit and PK were over, even if they refused to admit it publicly. For a couple that built their entire Bravo storyline on love, loyalty, and the Beverly Hills dream, the image had officially cracked. And what came next would turn the cracks into a full-on implosion. A divorce bombshell that made PK the most hated house husband in Housewives history. In 2024, the whispers finally became reality. After years of cheating rumors, paparazzi scandals, drunken nights, and endless denial, Dorit Kemsley dropped the bomb. She and PK were done. The divorce filings hit the tabloids like wildfire. Court documents painted the marriage as irreparable, citing constant fighting, PK's drinking, and yes, the infamous cheating allegations. Suddenly, all those paparazzi photos, all the shady rumors, all the awkward Bravo confessionals, they weren't just gossip. They were the receipts leading to a full-blown split. Dorit tried to spin the breakup with grace. Publicly, she said it was about choosing peace and protecting her kids. She insisted she still loved PK and wanted to stay friends. But the reality? The papers told a much darker story. Reports surfaced of screaming matches, nights where PK didn't come home, and Dorit allegedly confronting him about Shauna Wall and other women. The Bravo cameras didn't miss a beat. On The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Dorit was suddenly raw, emotional, and vulnerable, but also fiercely defensive. When co-stars pressed her about the cheating, she broke down, insisting she was blindsided. Viewers, however, weren't convinced. They accused Dorit of playing dumb for years, choosing designer gowns over the truth, and enabling PK's behavior until it was too late. Meanwhile, PK wasn't helping himself. Instead of showing remorse, he went on a PR tour. In interviews, he downplayed the cheating allegations, blamed Bravo editing, and even hinted that Dorit was the problem, not him. Fans dragged him online, calling him delusional, manipulative, and the ultimate cheater of Housewives history.
Dorit Kemsley, one of my favorite Real Housewives of all time from Beverly Hills, has finally filed for divorce from PK, her husband. The news broke yesterday on TMZ. It was an exclusive. She's saying she is finally done with him. He is so awful to her. But PK was spotted out with Shauna Wall, who is from reality TV, I forget what show, and literally immediately Dorit went to work and filed those papers. She's also trying to get sole legal and physical custody of their two children, Jagger and Phoenix. Now, Jagger and Phoenix are on Beverly Hills a lot. In this last season, Dorit does say that PK really was not around, and she was the one trying to kind of keep the household together while he was moved out, trying to figure out his life and getting sober. They also did pass the 10-year mark, which is one of the reasons why it was suspected why PK was trying to break up with her, because there's like a law in California where he can like get everything back if they don't make it 10 years. But since they have made it 10 years, they haven't signed up any sort of prenup, and now Dorit can literally file for divorce and get half. Thank God. And this just shows Dorit will be back on our screens next season, and I am so happy. She's one of my favorites.
And then came the money. Divorce filings revealed what fans had suspected for years. The Kemsleys were drowning in debt. From unpaid taxes to lawsuits over gambling debts, PK's shady financial history came roaring back into the spotlight. Critics accused him of not just cheating on Dorit, but cheating the system, living large while creditors chased him around the globe. The downfall was brutal, and for once, PK couldn't talk his way out of it. His reputation was in tatters. Dorit tried to rebrand herself as the victim, the loyal wife who finally had enough. But fans weren't buying that either. To them, Dorit was complicit, enjoying the private jets and glam squad lifestyle while ignoring the red flags. By the end of 2024, the PK and Dorit fairy tale was officially dead. What started as Bravo's glitzy power couple ended in lawsuits, infidelity, and one of the ugliest divorces in Housewives history.
This was a brilliant move on PK's part.
I understand why you think you're superior to anyone.
Why? Tell me, lawyer.
Intentional. So if you don't want to be seen, you don't make out with a tall, fabulous blonde outside Mr. Chow in LA.
All I need you to do is just marinate on this, okay?
PK has been married twice. His first wife, Loretta, he was only married to for 9 years. So this picture triggered Dorit to act exactly like he knew she was going to act, impulsively, and file for divorce at 9 years.
I was not in a good place.
Oh,
You know what happens when you hit 10 years?
Well, Erica said it on Beverly Hills. Something happens at 10 years, but I don't know.
There's a hell of a lot more to a big bank account.
You get half in foo-foo.
But also,
get
okay,
half.
but what does PK have to get half of? It feels like there's nothing there.
Oh, here she comes.
After the divorce bombshell, the fallout was immediate and brutal. Paul PK Kemsley went from Dorit's flashy sidekick to Bravo's most hated house husband almost overnight. Fans who once rolled their eyes at PK's drunken antics now dragged him relentlessly online. Social media feeds lit up with memes calling him a liar, a cheater, and the ultimate grifter of Housewives history. The Shauna Wall photos resurfaced on every platform, circulated as proof that PK had humiliated Dorit for years while pretending to be her rock.
So guys, I'm recording this at night. I was about to sleep and then I saw this statement circulating on various social media platforms revealing that Dorit and PK from the Real Houses of Beverly Hills are heading to Splitville. Well, from their statement, it looks like it's definitely a separation, but I'm going to read the statement for you now. Well, this is very sad. The two tied a knot back in 2015. Yeah, let us read what they have to say. Do certainly share your thoughts in the comment section below. I love you so much and continue to stay blessed. Salute. We as a couple have been subject to a lot of speculation about our marriage. We have had our struggles over the last few years and continue to work through them as two people who love each other and share two amazing children together. To safeguard our deep friendship and maintain a harmonious environment for our children, we have made the mutual and difficult decision to take some time apart and reevaluate our relationship while we prioritize our children. We appreciate your love and support while we continue to do the work necessary throughout this journey. With love, Dorit and PK.
And the cast, they weren't holding back either. Erica Jane, herself no stranger to scandal, snarked in a confessional that Dorit finally joined the club of housewives betrayed by their husbands. Kyle Richards called PK's behavior sad and predictable. Even Sutton Strack, who usually kept her shade classy, flat out called him a fraud. Meanwhile, Dorit tried to pick up the pieces. She leaned into her role as the heartbroken single mom, playing up the victim angle on camera. But fans weren't sympathetic. Instead, they accused her of looking the other way for years. Choosing designer gowns and glam squads over confronting the truth, the narrative was clear. Dorit enjoyed the luxury PK's shady money, and loyalty bought her. Until the scandal burned too hot to ignore, PK didn't help his case. Instead of laying low, he went on the offensive. In interviews, he painted himself as misunderstood, claiming he was the target of lies and Bravo's editing. He insisted Dorit exaggerated the cheating for a storyline, but the more he talked, the worse it got. Fans mocked him for blaming everyone but himself, cementing his reputation as delusional and arrogant. Financial scandals piled on too. Court filings exposed more debt, lawsuits, and allegations of unpaid taxes. Suddenly, the man who once bragged about luxury cars and million-dollar mansions was being labeled a fraud who lived beyond his means. For Bravo watchers, PK wasn't just a cheater, he was a symbol of everything fake about Housewives' wealth. The fallout reached peak chaos when Bravo fans started petitions demanding PK be banned from appearing on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. They called him toxic, embarrassing, and irrelevant without Dorit. And as Dorit's storyline shifted into post-divorce drama, it became clear PK had lost the only platform that gave him fame.
Where do Dorit and PK stand right now? We know the season of Beverly Hills is going to center a lot around their separation, but how are things between the two of them right now? Dorit was on Watch What Happens Live, where she answered all the questions about the status of her and PK's relationship. She says they are friendly, they're communicating, and that they're not getting divorced. The topic of divorce is not even on the table for the two of them. He does not live in their formerly shared home, and they still have not had the conversation with the kids. And he was like, well, how does that work? If PK's not living with you, aren't they asking any questions? She said the kids have asked some questions, that we will actually see her son Jagger ask a question during the season of Beverly Hills, but for the most part, they didn't tell the kids because they wanted to figure it out for themselves first. If and when their children did ask them questions about the state of their relationship, Dorit said, we want to be able to answer as truthfully and as authentically as possible. And to be honest, right now, we don't have all the answers to all the questions. Will the peace and harmony last? Who knows? We have a long season of Beverly Hills to get through.
By 2025, PK's reputation was in shambles. He wasn't the funny sidekick or the supportive husband anymore. He was the cautionary tale, the house husband who cheated, drank, gambled, and lost it all. Fans crowned him what he dreaded most, the worst cheater in Housewives history. By 2025, Paul PK Kemsley was no longer the flashy Beverly Hills husband sipping champagne in Dorit's glam room. He was a cautionary tale, a disgraced house husband whose name became synonymous with cheating, drinking, and scandal. His marriage to Dorit officially over. His empire in shambles, with creditors and lawsuits never far behind. His public image torched by the cheating rumors he could never shake. Even his attempts to rebrand fell flat. PK dabbled in podcasts, tried to pitch real estate ventures, even hinted at reality TV comebacks. But the Bravo audience wasn't buying it. Once you're labeled a cheater in Housewives history, you never escape it. Meanwhile, Dorit carried on as a single mom and full-time Bravo-lebrity, playing her divorce storyline for sympathy and new fans. PK, however, had no such luck. With Dorit gone, he had no diamond, no screen time, no platform, just a trail of scandals and a reputation that Bravo fans gleefully dragged at every opportunity. Even Bravo itself seemed to erase him. He wasn't invited back for cameos, wasn't featured in reunions, and wasn't part of Dorit's ongoing narrative beyond being her disgraced ex. In the world of Housewives, being invisible is worse than being hated. And that's the legacy PK is left with. A man who once bragged about being Dorit's soulmate, who called himself Beverly Hills royalty, reduced to a footnote in the Bravo universe. His downfall was satisfying, messy, and public, exactly the way fans wanted it. From cheating scandals to divorce court, PK Kemsley went from Dorit's flashy husband to the biggest cheater in Housewives history. Was he a victim of Bravo editing or the architect of his own destruction? Let us know in the comments what you think about PK's downfall. Don't forget to like this video, hit subscribe, and ring the bell for more explosive Housewives scandals and celebrity downfalls. Because in the world of Bravo, no secret stays hidden forever.